Today we're working on hip extension. Now, an inability to use the glute to get into hip extension oftentimes results in the lower back compensating. So if you get lower back pain when you squat or deadlift, it could be that you just don't have a solid brain connection to your glutes. This is going to fix that. This will be your money maker. We're going to set up, get yourself a nice cushion underneath your knee so that it's comfortable, so that it doesn't get really painful from pushing down into a hard floor. We're going to set up with your elbows on your front knee. We're going to get that foot nice and far forward, and we're going to get forward into a hip flexor stretch. Okay? We want to get a stretch right through the front of that hip. Get yourself in whatever position you feel that stretch. I'm actually going to walk my front foot forward a bit, making sure your front foot is directly underneath your knee. Your heel is underneath your knee. That's going to be the most solid position for you to play with. I'm a big fan of elbows on the knee because it'll just hold everything consistent no matter where I move, no matter what I do. My this leg and upper body complex just kind of stays locked in and the same. Okay, so we're going to hold that stretch. We should still have a stretch here. We're going to hold that stretch for another 30 seconds. If you want to, you can get a couple tables or chairs or something and have them next to you here so you can kind of stay upright. It's not a bad option as well. You gotta be careful though, because if this hip is locked in and we come upwards, it's the spine bending in order to do that. So we still have a stretch through that hip flexor. Now, first thing we're gonna do is actually practice using your glute in this position. So just hanging out here, I want you to squeeze that glute on the side that we're stretching once, twice, one more time. Squeeze that glute and relax. When you squeeze that glute, you might feel a harder stretch here. That's great. That's the whole point, okay? So, I'm gonna give you two instructions. One is gonna be push and one is gonna be pull. When we push, I want you to push this back foot, that shoelaces don't come out of your stretch. I want you to push this foot into the ground downwards, okay? We're gonna get a little bit of quad tissue active. At the same time, I want you to try to slide this knee forward to here. Okay. Now you got to have a setup so that the mat doesn't slip. So if you're using something like if you have pants on a soft or on a tile floor or something, it's going to slide around. We don't want to actually move. So make sure that this isn't going to move when you apply that pressure. Okay. So we're still in that stretch. We're going to push the shoelaces down and the knee forward just with about 20% pressure. We're going to push with about 40% pressure now. Okay, we're trying to activate these muscles. I'm trying to slide my knee forward as much as I can without losing that stretch. Okay, you might actually get this hamstring woken up too from your heel pulling backwards oppositely. We're going to push with 60%, pushing the foot down into the floor, pushing the knee forward, making sure we're still in that stretch. If you need to hold on to something to hold yourself solid, you can feel free. Make sure you set yourself up beforehand for whatever you need. 80%, we're going to push down and forward with 80%, trying to get all that hip tissue going. We're going to go with 100% as safe but as hard as you possibly can, trying to pull that knee forward, lean into that front leg and pull that knee forward. You're trying to get it to slide towards your heel. Come on, 3, 2, give me another 1 second and pull yourself deeper. I want you to squeeze this glute, pull yourself into a deeper stretch as hard as you can. Squeezing this glute as hard as you can. Come on, fire it, fire it, fire it, squeeze it. Get those hips nice and low to the ground for another 5, 4. Keep squeezing, 3, 2. Get that glute going. 1, and completely relax. Do not lose the stretch. Do not come out of that position. Just relax in this new position. Hang out. Let your body get used to it. We're going to spend some time here to lock that position in. Breathing nice and deeply, breathing nice and slowly, just totally relaxing. All right, we're going to come out of that position. And if you've been on the program, you know what's coming next. We just worked on your left hip. I want you to go set yourself up against a nice firm base of support. We're going to do a hip car forward and backwards on that left side. We just tried to expand some range of motion, get into a new range of motion. Now we're going to lock that in by moving it actively under our own power, okay? When you're done your hip car on your left side, one forward and one backwards, you can either back the video up to the very beginning of what we just did and follow it through again on the other side, or you can do it yourself if you trust yourself and you understand the concept concept, holding a stretch for about a minute, and then going through our pushing and pulling, okay? Getting yourself into a deeper position than we originally started with.